private sector may be allowed to buy vaccine once herd immunity achieved. KKMM proposes free internet at military camps, police stations. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. You're watching News at 10. I'm Jessica Lee. The Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin departed for Mecca, Saudi Arabia for his maiden official visit to West Asia earlier today. The visit was at the invitation of Saudi Arabian King Salman Abdulaziz Al Saud, who is also the custodian of two holy mosques. Tan Sri Muhyiddin, through a posting on his official Facebook page, announced that he will first perform Umrah at the Holy Land of Mecca and visit Medina before the official program at Al Yamama Palace in Riyadh on the 9th of March. The Premier also said he is scheduled to hold a meeting with Crown Prince Mohammed Salman Abdulaziz Al Saud, who is the Deputy Prime Minister and Defence Minister of the Government of Saudi Arabia. He said the visit is of utmost significance. Among others, Tan Sri Muhyiddin will also discuss various efforts to strengthen bilateral ties and explore new cooperation in trade, investments and Islamic affairs, which could take the existing good relations to an even higher level. Matters on Hajj quota and Umrah would also be discussed at the meeting. Then, from Saudi Arabia, he will fly to the United Arab Emirates, UAE, to meet the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed Zayed Al Nahyan, and UAE Prime Minister, who is also the ruler of Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed Rashid Al Maktoum. The limited global supply of COVID-19 vaccines has made it necessary for the government to monopolize vaccine purchase to ensure that the success of the national COVID-19 immunization program. The Deputy Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dato' Ahmad Amzad Hashim, said although there were requests from the private sector to buy the vaccine through the government, the priority now is for the government to get adequate supply speedily. He added that the private sector is involved in the immunization program, but as implementers in giving free vaccine and not the one who bought the vaccine. He advised people not to worry about getting any brand of vaccines approved by the National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Agency, or NPRA, which is very thorough on matters of quality and safety of vaccines.
Dalam negara kita, vaksin yang diiktiraf di dalam negara adalah vaksin yang diluluskan oleh NPRA. Jadi saya minta hati-hati, takut kita cocok vaksin yang tak diiktiraf. Nanti ia akan memberi kesan sebab nanti kita akan mula ada sijil digital, kesihatan digital. Takut dari segi pergerakan dia pun tak diiktiraf. Jadi kena hati-hatilah.
He said this to reporters after launching the TD1303X Jazzro Robotic Academy in Kuala Terengganu today. Dato' Ahmad Amzad was asked to comment on reports that the private sector was keen to buy COVID-19 vaccines with the help of the government, currently the only channel to get vaccine supply from manufacturers. As of yesterday, more than 2 million Malaysians have registered for the vaccination, and of this, 112,000 were frontliners who had received their jabs. Let's take a look at the COVID-19 updates. Malaysia continues its downward trend as 1,680 new infections were reported in the past 24 hours. Now, according to a statement by Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah, 3 of them were imported, while the remaining 1,677 cases were local transmissions. Selangor remains the state with the highest number of new infections with 826 cases, followed by Sarawak with 221 new cases and Johor 139 cases. Meanwhile, 2,548 cases made a recovery and were discharged today, bringing the total number of recoveries up to 289,452, which translates to a 92.84% recovery rate. Following this development, the total number of active cases currently monitored in the country is 21,158. 172 of them are being treated in intensive care units or ICUs, with 84 of them requiring respiratory aid. MOH also reported 7 new COVID-19 related deaths in the past 24 hours, and the number of casualties now stands at 1,166. An enhanced movement control order, or EMCO, has been imposed on Kampung Serumah Daerah Kecil Siburan in Serian, Sarawak from tomorrow, 7th of March, until the 20th of March. The Senior Minister of Security, Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, said that as of yesterday, a total of 416 screenings have been conducted there and 21 COVID-19 positive cases have been recorded. He said the Health Ministry has confirmed that the virus is spreading involving residents in that locality. In a statement today, he said after a risk assessment, the government has agreed to impose an enhanced MCO from the 7th to the 20th of March. He added the enhanced MCO will enable the Health Ministry to conduct screenings on 580 residents as well as track down close contacts. Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri said the enhanced MCO at the Central Medicare Hostel, Factory and Construction Site in Hilir, Perak will end on schedule tomorrow. He said a total of 2,074 screenings have been conducted and 1,650 positive cases were recorded. All positive cases have received treatment while their close contacts have been isolated and monitored. He added the Health Ministry confirmed that the number of cases has gone down and the cluster is under control. The actions of a taxi driver who tried to threaten another driver backfired when he was bludgeoned using his own weapon. Now, the incident was recorded by nearby onlookers, which was posted on social media before becoming viral. The incident took place in Petaling Jaya, Selangor yesterday evening at about 6:30 p.m. The conflict was believed to be a misunderstanding between the taxi driver and a motorcyclist, in which the 46-year-old motorcyclist blared his horn at a 71-year-old taxi driver after he allegedly made a dangerous sudden overtake without turning on the indicator lights. The taxi driver then allegedly threatened the motorcyclist by using a steering lock. However, the motorcyclist retaliated by seizing the makeshift weapon before using it to hit the taxi driver. According to Petaling Jaya District Police Chief ACP Nik Izani Muhammad Faizal, both suspects have made bail. The case is being investigated under Section 160 of the Penal Code for fighting and Section 324 of the same code for causing hurt. Coming up, Malacca government optimistic state tourism will recover. The Ministry of Communications and Multimedia, or KKMM, today proposed that free internet facilities be provided at military camps and police stations. Now, its Deputy Minister, Datuk Zahidi Zainul Abidin, said that the ministry would submit the proposal to the government in the near future.
Apa yang disampaikan kepada kita sekarang ni, kebanyakan keluarga tentera ni memerlukan data dan internet percuma di kem-kem yang mereka duduk ni kan. Dan kalau boleh kerajaan dapat memberi internet percuma kepada keluarga-keluarga tentera ni lah, terutamanya anak-anak mereka tak belajar. Dan kebanyakan kawasan di kem-kem ni pun lainnya cukup lemah. Jadi maknanya kita terpaksa kita lihat bahawa ini adalah sumbangan kerajaan kerana jasa tentera dan polis ni cukup besar kepada negara.
He said this after presenting school uniforms to the children of members of the Malaysian Armed Forces ATM, Royal Malaysia Police PDRM and Correctional Services at the 30th Brigade Headquarters Bukit Kauda Camp, Padang Besar today. Datuk Zahidi, who is also the MP for Padang Besar, said that KKMM had held discussions with several telecommunication companies and they had stated that it could be implemented. The Malaysian Armed Forces, or ATM, welcomes the cooperation and contributions of corporate bodies, financial institutions, including banks, zakat institutions, and government-linked companies, or GLCs, for its Jiwa Murni program. Now, Senior Minister of Security, Datuk Seri Semasa said the contributions, when combined with those from state governments and the 10 million ringgit allocation from the Ministry of Defence to ATM for the community outreach program this year, would enable more projects to be planned for the welfare of the people. So far for the program, Datuk Seri Semasa, who is also Defence Minister, said ATM had received allocations of more than 1 million ringgit from several state governments, while the Sarawak state government itself had contributed 1.5 million ringgit.
Kita akan menambahkan lagi tahun ini untuk projek di bawah Jiwa Murni. Ya. Kementerian sendiri, pihak kementerian, tadi saya sebut tadi 1 juta lebih daripada kajian-kajian negeri. Ya. Tapi tahun ini Kementerian Pertahanan, MINDEF, akan memperuntukkan sebanyak 10 juta kepada tentera darat untuk program Jiwa Murni.
Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said this to reporters after launching the construction of a house for a villager, Muhammad Tahir Nongcik, in Kampung Kuala Triang in Bera Pahang today. Now, also present was Army Chief General Tan Sri Zamros Muhammad Zain. He also said that the construction of the house would also be easier if the recipients had suitable land to be used as a construction site, or if the state government could cooperate in approving land. Apart from houses, the Jiwa Murni program also involves the construction or maintenance of public facilities such as mosques or suraus, Muslim cemeteries and water supply infrastructure, proving that the military's duty is more than just maintaining security. Special measures are to be implemented by the Ministry of Plantation Industries and Commodities to ensure that the incomes of industry players such as small rubber farmers and palm oil farmers are not too heavily impacted by the current heat wave. Its Deputy Minister, Datuk Seri Dr. Wijik Singh, said this is highly necessary as the commodities industry is a major contributor to the country's income. He said for the rubber plantation sector, an initiative that can be considered is providing a subsidy to ensure that the price of the commodity does not go under the floor price at RM2.50 per kilogram.
Getah ni, dia ada harga lantai. Kalau harga kurang daripada RM2.50, maka kerajaan akan buat bantuan sehingga ke tahap minimum tu. Kalau harga yang meningkat ke itu, kerajaan tak ada bantuan lah, tak ada subsidi. Jadi itulah sebabnya kita bantu kepada mereka mengikut harga atau pendapatan mereka dapat distabilkan.
The Malaysian Meteorological Department, Met Malaysia, has predicted that the hot weather will persist until up to mid-April due to the lack of rain currently faced by the northern regions of Peninsular Malaysia, which is expected to lead to dry conditions for an extended period of time. The Malacca government is optimistic of reviving its tourism sector, with inter-district travel now allowed in the state since yesterday. Now, Chief Minister Datuk Sri Sulaiman Mat Ali said implementation of Movement Control Order, or MCO, to curb the spread of COVID-19, where interstate and inter-district travel were not allowed, had affected the state's tourism industry. He said now that district crossing has been allowed, people in the state could travel to the districts, and this would help to boost the tourism sector again.
Saya memang dah minta daripada dulu rentas daerah ni. Saya ingat daripada awal PKP 2.0 dulu saya dah minta agar interdistrik ini dibenarkan. Saya maklumkan kepada Yang Amat Perdana Menteri, Melaka ini tidak seperti negeri-negeri yang lain. Okey, Melaka ni kalau one end to another end, dia kata north Melaka to south Melaka, it take you 30 minit dia. Musim PKP ni lah kan, 30 minit ke 40 minit. So kita ada 3 distrik saja, saya maklumkan. Bagilah kelonggaran kepada negeri Melaka, sebab Melaka ni sebuah negeri pelancongan. Kita tidak seperti negeri lain.
He added that district crossing will stimulate the economy and restore the state's tourism industry. However, he advised the people to continue to abide by the standard operating procedures or SOPs when going to places in the state. He said this after visiting the Masjid Tanah Farmers Market today. Datuk Sri Sulaiman said he also hoped that the Malacca Visit 3.0 campaign, which was launched recently, would spur further the state's tourism sector and simultaneously boost the people's economy. Now, the Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development plans on establishing a post-marriage course as a proactive measure to curb unwanted domestic violence incidents in families, which are not limited to crime and abuse. Its Minister, Datuk Sri Rina Mohamad Harun, said there has been an increasing number of reports regarding domestic violence in the country, with some cases even leading to loss of lives.
Contoh, bila kita nak kahwin, especially yang daripada golongan Muslim, kita ada wajib hadir khusus pra-perkahwinan. Tapi dalam melayari kehidupan perkahwinan, tak ada khusus yang diwajibkan. Maka kementerian akan melihat perkara ini supaya ada khusus-khusus yang tertentu ya untuk diadakan dalam tempoh pra-perkahwinan, dalam waktu mereka berkahwin yang diwajibkan.
Commenting on the incident where a man killed his wife with an airsoft gun before hiding the body in a barrel, now before burying it at an oil palm estate in Kota Tinggi, Johor. Now, Datuk Sri Rina said the Department of Social Welfare is in the process of determining the custody rights for the victim's 2 children. Meanwhile, the ministry has formed the Women Anti-Crime Squad, or WAJA, last year, with 70,000 psychosocials appointed to provide counselling to women facing domestic issues. More psychosocials will be appointed at the grassroots level to suit the current needs of the ministry. And coming up in sport, JDT fire early warning with Charity Shield win. Johor Darul Takzim, or JDT, scored a goal in each half to beat Kedah Darul Aman FC, or KDA FC, 2-0 and retain the Charity Shield for the 4th straight season in a game played behind closed doors at the Sultan Ibrahim Stadium in Johor last night. Now, the 2021 Malaysia League, or the M-League season opening victory also handed JDT all 3 points as they embark on a mission of making history by claiming the Super League title for an 8th consecutive time this year. The football match began with JDT players sounded an early warning of their intentions when they had 2 shots that hit the bar in a space of 7 minutes through Leandro Velasquez in the 4th minute and Gonzalo Cabrera in 11th minute. Not to be outdone, KDA FC, despite struggling to get their game going, nearly stunned the home team when a Cheche Kepre's acrobatic shot also hit the bar, with JDT goalkeeper Muhammad Farizal Marlias stranded. With JDT controlling the game, it was a matter of time before they opened accounts, and that was exactly what they did in the 34th minute when Muhammad Safawi, upon receiving a pass from Muhammad Afiq Fazail, unleashed a stiffed left-footed shot into the bottom left corner past the diving KDA FC goalkeeper Muhammad Ifwat Akmal Chikasim. Despite having the upper hand, JDT had to wait until the 67th minute to double their lead, when Nexco Insa's screamer from outside the box was deflected into the bottom right corner by Kedah's Muhammad Amirul Hisham Awang Sheikh, thus sealing the game for the 2020 League champions. Meanwhile, JDT head coach Benjamin Mora expressed his satisfaction with his players' performance that managed to control the game despite the different formations played by the opposition team.
Up front in his attack, but we prepared very well. We were very composed. We did what we had to do in attack. We waited for the moment.
On the other hand, KDA FC head coach Aidil Sharil Sahak admitted that they lost to a better team, although he was full of praise for his men for not going down without a fight.
I have to congratulate my boys here for doing very well to come here with back 4 local players. Yeah, they are doing very well. Players like Fairuz who are young, they take care of players like Safawi, Shazwan, and even Roni did very well, and Jai. But end of the day, we have to accept JDT is a better team. Yeah, they are strong at their home game and have many good players. And let's not forget, they have many international players. Yeah, compared to us, we don't have Renan tonight, but that's not the excuse. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I have to accept the defeat.
JDT had won the same trophy in 2015 and 2016 before winning it consecutively from 2018 to date. Now, JDT's next Super League match will be against newcomers Penang FC, while KDA FC will entertain Sabah on Tuesday. And that concludes this evening's edition of News at 10. In our top story, private sector may be allowed to buy vaccine after herd immunity is achieved. Join me again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Jessica Lee. Stay tuned to Saluran Berita RTM and have a pleasant evening.